San Antonio's Sports Center.
Cowboys play their second preseason game tomorrow as they're in Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. Kickoff's at 9, but it's a game you can catch here on South Texas home for the Cowboys, 94-1, starting at 8 with the pregame. The Texans play their first home game of the preseason as they take on the Giants at NRG Stadium at noon, while the red-hot Astros look for their ninth straight win tonight when they take on the Chicago White Sox, while the Rangers, they continue their series with the Twins.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't think.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pleasure wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. Now, here's Pledge.
Oh, welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pleasure. Thanks for joining me, however you may be joining me, whether that's on 94.1 FM on your radio dial. If you're listening via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, sasportstar.com, or if you're one of the ones listening on our YouTube channel. Of course, you can watch and listen to all of our shows. Go to YouTube. Search SA Sports Star. Go ahead and subscribe. Like what you see, and you can comment along with the show as well. Like Fred Records, Frank Valdez, already in the comments. What's going on, guys? This is Extra Innings with Pledge. You can also call in and be a part of the show at any point in time. 210-656-ESPN. That is 656-3776 if you want to be a part of the conversation. And the conversation today has been a lot to do with contracts in the Dallas Cowboys. Shocking, I know, but a lot's come out in recent days, including today, as Calvin Watkins of the Dallas Morning News reports that there is a contract offer into CeeDee Lamb, and they are getting really close, slightly under $33 million, making him the second highest paid receiver in the NFL behind Justin Jefferson, ahead of Amon-Ra St. Brown and A.J. Brown. But deal's not done yet, as we also see reports recently here in the last hour or so that Brandon Ayuk is getting close to a deal with the San Francisco 49ers. And I wonder if CeeDee Lamb wants to hold off to see what that deal looks like before getting his deal done. And especially Dak Prescott, it made it sound yesterday like he's getting a lot closer to a deal.
Good conversations are going on. I will say that. Call it negotiations, whatever, conversations. A lot of good things are going on there. So a lot of confidence. Once again, as I said, anytime I feel like I've talked about it, I've got confidence in my guys, these guys getting something done. Yeah.
And we've heard that from Jory Epstein, who joined the Blitz earlier, and I'm going to play a portion of that interview a little bit later in the show, that, Stephen Jones set a deadline, it sounded like, not too long ago, talking with Jory about wanting to get this deal done before the start of the regular season. And Dak yesterday said regular season, in season, whatever, doesn't matter. He's going to continue to go out there and perform. Well, the morning huddle this morning with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson, weekday morning, 6 to 10, right here on San Antonio Sports Star, talked about Dak saying how much closer he potentially to a new contract and what that could potentially mean moving forward. And sounds like they may be thinking he's talking about something else.
Dak was apparently he doesn't think it's a big deal. He doesn't think any of this is a big deal. He says it's real easy to deal with the quote unquote distractions. There's nothing going on, nothing to see. I just do my job.
I'm blessed to be able to do that, to have a family, girlfriend that takes care of the home, takes care of the business that we need. people in place that takes care of the contract, those talks, those negotiations, and that allows me to, when I'm here, when I'm in the camp hours, I'm as focused can be on whatever it needs, whether it's the team, the locker room, maybe it's something the coaches need, or it's just me out there on the field trying to become the player that I want to be and continuing to grow and getting better. That I think that's what allows it to be easy for me is I have such good people around me.
Who was it the other? It was a couple weeks ago that was trying to get his deal done and didn't realize that because he's his own agent, he had to like actually go in and do something.
Oh, yeah, I know who you were talking about. Panthers. It was a Panther, I think.
God, I don't remember who it was. I mean, you might be right, but I'm trying to think. I can't think of what who the player was. Was like, I'm just waiting for my people to make something, and it's like you don't have people.
Like you
are that person. Then they asked Dak about the kind of what we talked about earlier about why he's feeling so good about the conversations they're having with the Cowboys.
Good conversations are going. I will say that call it negotiations, whatever conversations. A lot of good things are going on there. So a lot of confidence. Once again, I said anytime I feel like I've talked about it, I've got confidence in my guys. These guys getting something done. Yeah.
I wonder. I don't know if you said. I think this is the rare situation where both parties are unsure if they want to be together.
Well, I think Dak's more than happy to be with you if you'll pay him the money. I think, but he's not going to give you a discount.
No. But do you think Dak would be just as happy somewhere else with?
Well, I think yeah.
Does Dak want to get married to a contract or the Cowboys?
I think he's had 8 years of Cowboys, and I don't think he would look back, sadly. I think he would carry on. You can tell by his attitude. I think he's resigned himself to the fact that no matter what happens, as long as I view this as I'm a lucky man. I've got a woman who takes care of the house. I got a healthy child. I got $70 million in the bank, and I'm about to make $300 million more. It probably won't be here. I think he is right where he should be, right? I mean,
yeah, a handful of people bringing up it was Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
that's who it was.
I'm looking at it right here as Caleb. Who?
Yeah, good call, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, great, smart brigade bar.
That's who it was. It was like, yeah, my people are going to take care. And they're like, no, you don't have people. You've got to go in there and do it yourself. Oh.
And then we come to see the contract. I like what you did here.
Let me run this by my people. And then he goes in the bathroom and it's like, okay,
looks good here.
Looks good.
Excellent.
I'll take it. I accept your offer. I asked that because to me, this is almost like a marriage. And if one party would be okay getting married or okay breaking up, like moving on, seeing other people, and the other party feels kind of the same way, getting married is rarely the right answer. You know what I mean?
Unless you're looking for the tax break. I mean, you can get married for financial reasons, and you can have this arranged, fairly platonic though loving marriage.
Those usually don't end in joy.
No, they don't. But they do sometimes end in happiness. You trade joy for general happiness, and I think
content.
Content, literally.
Yeah.
And we all know people like that. And I think Dak would be content to be a Dallas Cowboy for the rest of his life. But he is never going to give in and take a flyer on you're going to do the best for me again. And you could tell by the last deal he had enough. I will never be franchised, and I will never let you just trade my rights. From now on, I am in control. And he's acting like it. I mean, you waited on me before. You pushed it down the road. You waited till I broke my freaking leg before you would pay me.
Yeah.
And now, when I've signed that, in control, I am going to be the master of my fate. You're not going to franchise me. And that sometimes that's throwing the bathwater out with the baby, because maybe if he'd have gotten hurt in other circumstances, a franchise tag might have been the most appropriate thing for a guy like him. But no. He's gambled on himself, and he's won so far. Why step away now that the dollar values are doubled? And as he stands, he's got a pretty decent football team.
Yeah. No, you're right. He does have he's in a decent situation, but also with a giant unknown now because see, I mean, I'm sure Dak doesn't want to marry the Cowboys if they're saying we're going to let CeeDee Lamb move on.
There's that,
or we're going
too.
to trade CeeDee Lamb.
There is the peace of mind of knowing maybe there's some guys around here that I'd just soon not see again. You know, he might not like Dak or McCarthy's offense in his heart of hearts. He might not appreciate some of these guys, and they very well could be gone because they're all on 1 years as well. There's nobody in a better position in as far as. I mean, there's guys in better positions because they got guaranteed money for the next 8 years.
Trevor Lawrence is in a pretty good position.
But there's nobody in the ill-defined future part of the world that has a better opportunity. I mean, nobody anywhere. I'd say it's, even Burrow doesn't have quite the situation that Dak does because Dak can pick and choose. Yeah. He can pick who he plays for next year.
And that's a situation that quarterbacks rarely find themselves in because they get to that franchise year and it's like, I mean, it's rare to get paid that kind of money ever. And then generally you don't see high-end quarterbacks hit free agency.
And you don't. And if Dak makes his way to free agency, it's only going to double the dollar values in terms of how much extra you're going to have to pay, which is why you should get it done now instead of waiting like they've done. This is Extra Innings with Pledge. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Earlier today on the Blitz, Jory Epstein of USA Today, who had conversations with Dak and one-on-ones with him and Stephen Jones, talk about the contracts regarding Dak Prescott and Stephen Jones and what to expect as we get closer to the start of the season. I'll play a portion of that coming up for you next, right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. Limited time. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns
That's right.
to turnovers and overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice! Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. 7777. That's 210-615-7777 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
If you're a man and you live in or around the San Antonio area, you need to listen to this message. Do you find yourself stressing about or even avoiding intimate moments? Do you find yourself thinking, is it going to work? Does your partner look at you and ask, is it me? Did I do something wrong? Do you get frustrated when things don't live up to their expectations. Men, you're not alone, and we have a solution. For over a decade, Mojo has delivered 100% guaranteed male performance results. Mojo truly works every single time. Guys, Mojo works when all other things fail, and its proprietary formula has helped thousands of men live their best lives again. Yeah! Mojo is 100% natural, blood pressure safe, diabetic friendly, and fast acting. And Mojo is now available in both spray and capsule formulas exclusively at Pure Line Nutrition. Call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today at 210-494-2210. That's Pure Line Nutrition, 210-494-2210.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Look no further than I-10 Ice House, your neighborhood sports headquarters with over a decade of excellence. Catch every thrilling moment on massive 10-foot screens, whether it's the big game or that must-see pay-per-view event. And don't miss out on their daily happy hour specials. The best seats are at I-10 Ice House on 9518 Console Drive, proudly serving our community for over 10 years. I-10 Ice House, 9518 Console Drive off Wurzbach and 10.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Rangers Twins coming up at the bottom of the hour. But as we talk about these contracts, somebody who is very plugged into what is going and what the latest, what those contracts are, is Jory Epstein of USC Today, as she joined the Blitz a little bit earlier this afternoon. And I'm going to play you a portion of that interview as they talked about, after speaking with Dak Prescott and Stephen Jones and knowing the latest on where they are with CeeDee Lamb, how close they could actually be to getting some of these done before the start of the season.
You were there when Dak was going through this the first time with the big contract. Do you see a marked difference in Dak then versus now?
I think what's different about Dak now is that the stakes are different. Last time it was, okay, they could franchise tag him again. How long are they going to play it out? They had a little bit more leverage, the Cowboys, that is, to say, hey, you know what, take a little less and we'll have a little more to give to this pass rush. We'll have a little more to give to Amari Cooper when we want him. And now Dak knows, because he has a no tag, no trade clauses in his deal, the Cowboys don't have leverage after the season. Now, like, all of us know that there will be other suitors. For how much money and for what degree of ability to win a championship, you question that. But when Dak told me in that article, as I wrote, that he feels free, I think part of that is the freedom of, hey, maybe in the spring we can all decide whether this is still the right marriage or whether at this stage in our lives we're better off with someone else.
You know, it's interesting, Jory, as you think about Dak does seem very comfortable with the reality that he could play for another franchise, although I do believe he wants to stay a lifelong Dallas Cowboy. I'm curious, when you were sitting down with him, that when the quote came out that he understands the Yanks, that quarterbacks are judged on Super Bowls. We all know he's a great regular season quarterback. Then we all know he hasn't gotten it done in the postseason. Not clear to the level of expectation that a quarterback making that kind of money would make, or just being the quarterback. Or his facial expressions or tones when he was saying that to you?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I think that Dak was kind of explaining to me why he feels the way he feels. And he was saying, he had a conversation with his physical therapist, Luke Miller, about this. And Luke is someone who spends a lot of time with Dak. They're very good friends, and he's his physical therapist. And so as he's working on Dak's calf, his leg, his ankle, all of that. There's a lot of time for conversation, and they've done that for several years. And so I happen to think when he says, oh, Luke and I were talking about this, is this something where you're getting the authentic Dak, like unfiltered, what he's thinking? And so this unfiltered conversation he's having with his PT is, if the Cowboys say we need a quarterback who's won the Super Bowl, I know I don't check that box. Now, also, as I put in the article, if you look at how quarterback wins he has, so wins of games he started since 2016 when he got in the league, the only quarterbacks who have won more games since 2016 than Dak are Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. So in the regular season, like, that is quite the company to be around. But obviously, Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes have 7 and 3 Super Bowls, and you have Dak who doesn't have a Super Bowl appearance, and doesn't have an NFC title appearance. And so that's why I think there will be this question of how much is this the Cowboys' challenge of getting there, which predates Dak by decades, and how much of this is, well, Dak not elevating the team to justify his contract enough, and that's what we want to decide. Or do they both believe that they're still right for each other? All of these will be questions playing out.
Boy, a lot of questions with the Cowboys this year for sure. And Jory, you spent a lot of years covering the Cowboys exclusively. By the way, we miss seeing you out in Oxnard, by the way. But
Likewise.
So you've seen this Cowboys team up close throughout the years. When we were out there in Oxnard, just with the Dak situation, with the CD situation, and even Micah to some extent, it just seemed like a different feel. The hope, the enthusiasm, all of that just seemed a little bit damp to us. Did you get the same feel when you went out there, or was it the same for you?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think also I was out there one day for a walkthrough, and the next day was joint practice with the Rams, and there's so much going on in a joint practice that you maybe don't get the specific one team's unfiltered tone. But I do think that Green Bay loss still stings. I mean, they know what the issues are. Obviously, Dan Quinn chose to leave and chose to go to the Washington Commanders. But when they were trying to replace the defensive coordinator, I talked to Stephen Jones this week, and he told me we didn't want another Dan, not because Dan's not great, but they needed to shake something up because it was not working. Something wasn't working. You just got to change the vibe sometimes. And so they brought in Mike Zimmer. He's a much rougher around the edges personality. He's much more, hey, you got to stop them to earn the right to rush the passer. And I actually think that statement alone, that phrase of stopping the run first, almost embodies what could be the answer to this Cowboys drought, because rushing the passer is important. It can win you games. It can get you a lot of attention, a lot of money, but it doesn't alone win you Super Bowl if you can't do the other things. I think sometimes the Cowboys do have a lot of that flash, a lot of that glamour, but there's a little bit more that has to be done. And I think individually these guys are putting in the work, but you have to almost work harder when you're a Dallas Cowboy than with other teams to have that mentality because of what you get the star and because of all of the distractions.
Jory Epstein from Yahoo Sports joining us here on the Blitz 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. That said, obviously the defense might be leading the way this year because Dak is going to be asked to do more with less when you look at that running back room and potentially two rookies on the offensive line. And until CD gets a deal, he's without that receiver right now. And then you look at the offseason comments with Jerry saying all in and essentially doing nothing. Your sense of where this Cowboys team could finish at the end of the year, or is being below expectation or not on that Super Bowl talk conversation, is that better for the Cowboys?
Yeah, I think, first of all, a successful year for this Cowboys team should be winning the divisional round. They haven't done that in years. They didn't lose that much talent. They haven't lost much of their coaching staff. And they have a quarterback playing on the final year of his deal. They have a head coach coaching on the final year of his deal. Like, there are a lot of stakes in this season, assuming we enter the season in the same contractual place that we are now, which I would say for those two guys, I think we will. What I think we have to ask ourselves, I was talking to a defensive coach from another division in the offseason who told me, yeah, if I was in the NFC East and played the Giants and Commanders twice a year, I too would be 12 wins a season. And so I think there's that question of, like, is this really a 12-win team by talent or a 9-win team by talent, a 10-win team by talent? And I think the Cowboys need to understand, like, kind of use almost as like advanced efficiency metrics, what they really look like against the teams. You can just better teams and make it to the playoffs and do well. And so you can.
That was Jory Epstein. The full interview at sasportstar.com in our audio vault. That's going to do it for Extra Innings with Pledge today. When we got Rangers Twins Game 2 coming up next here on San Antonio Sports Star. Remember to check on your loved ones and shoot them a text. You never know how much good that can do. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds 210-225-21.